the Hookup on Music with your host, Tony Bird.
Hello, everybody out there, and welcome to episode 101. 101. We are glad to be here tonight. I am Tony B, your host, your guide, your musical fan of many different genres that you also love. So please, thank you for joining us tonight. We have a lot of awesome stuff to get to. So let us get started. As I stated, it's kind of cold and getting cold outside. So it's like, what can we really bring to the table to get started tonight to kind of emphasize the cold? Is there a song? Is there something that comes to mind to some? What can or shall that be? In my case, it is always Black Sabbath Snowblind. No, it does not have to do with the sleet on the roads and all of that. It has to do with, it has to do with having some fun in the 70s. We'll just leave it at that. No, it has to do with drug use, but hey, what's some rock in the 70s without, some drug use, I guess. So we are dipping into this track real quick here from the amazing album which was going to be titled Snowblind, but they sadly changed it to volume 4. The band was just engulfed in drugs at this point, so they decided to make a track about it, and Snowblind is that track. It comes in at 5 minutes and 33 seconds. Really cool different time signatures going on in that song. Really awesome bass licks going on in that song. Just an overall a lot of awesomeness going on in that track particularly. But for me, when you think it as a whole, the Black Sabbath Volume 4 record, you're not really going to miss too many tracks that just rule. Okay. One that I used to skip a lot as a youngin' because I had the We Sold Our Soul for Rock and Roll album. It was called Tomorrow's Dream. Now, man, this song never is skipped. I can't believe I skipped it. Sometimes I come up to myself and I say, "Self, what are you doing?" Because like tracks like that and tracks like Snowblind really leave the fans loving Sabbath. And for a fourth album, you can't really get any better, personally, in the 70s as far as really heavy goes. They are, and honestly, you can even dig a little bit into the album cover, which I have a t-shirt of. I like the way the lettering is going on the album cover. I like the way Mr. Ozzy is right there in the middle. Not fully knowing it's Ozzy. It's like a silhouette of Ozzy in yellow. What a cool color combination, white and yellow. But again, just a great album as a whole. We've talked about tracks on this, like Under the Sun, on this show before, but digging into some of the more slower tracks, like Changes. I remember the first time I heard that song. It's a piano melody, and it was composed by Tony Iommi, which is crazy because imagining Iommi, the legend, fooling around on a piano and coming up with that, while Mr. Geezer Butler, bassist, are lyrics. Okay, the lyrics are being written, and Ozzy's getting ready to sing, and again, his voice, he hits it on this one. Okay, sometimes Ozzy, with his voice, it's Ozzy, but this track does a really good job. It's a really good the way the miking is. But if it's been a long while and you haven't dug into it, thinking of some volume 4, at least for the tracks that I mentioned, and well, the whole entire thing, like Super Not 2, that's a real heavy one. Great covers from some of these tracks too. System of a Down does a great cover of Snowblind. Ministry does a really great cover of Supernaut. So check some of those out and let us know what your favorite track is off of volume 4. Going from that, warm up a little bit, you can always warm up with Mr. Curtis Mayfield. Come on, Mr. Curtis Mayfield, one of the coolest musicians of all time. Sadly passing away at 57. We're going to get to that in a minute. But he was dubbed the gentle genius, okay? Um, really, really, really talented in many, many different things, including singing, including playing the guitar, which honestly, he really, really, if you listen to some of the licks on some of these albums, really, 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 really good stuff. Um, but when you're what's the word I'm looking for? You're in Curtis's wheelhouse, and that means you're into his music and you're listening to him, then you are well aware of the talents in which he brings. Going through Superfly, which was from 72, a soundtrack album that he put together, which he produced, also loaded with great songs. Okay. Freddie's Dead, Pusher Man, Little Child Running Wild. For me, Pusher Man is just one of the coolest songs that I've heard ever. Okay. And us here together, we've heard a lot of cool tracks. So for to say, oh, you know what? To hear a lot of cool Curtis Mayfield, you definitely got to say, Curtis, you are super awesome, and we are super appreciative of you and your super talents of being involved in just so many cool, really great music. But if it's again another section saying, okay, you haven't checked out Give Me Your Love in a long time, a 4 minute and 20 second track off of Superfly, I think it's about time you shall be doing that. I mean, or just dig into something a little bit earlier, like Roots, a really excellent second album from Mr. Curtis Mayfield. And you may be saying, when did he get started? Where did he get started? What's really cool is that he was part of a group called the Impressions, okay, with Sam Goodman and Fred Cash. It was three of them, and really good artists too. Keep on pushing. People get ready. It's all right. Um, just really great, excellent vocals. Okay. When you listen to Curtis's voice, you will not be disappointed, and really, to say the least. But you will be sad and you will be disappointed because in August 13th of 1990, I've never heard anything really like this before. During an outdoor concert, um, equipment fell on him while he was playing, um, while he was actually being introduced. It was in Flatbush, Brooklyn, New York, and really just crazy how that happens. Crazy. Um, but he was able to record one last album, New World Order. Um, but it wasn't easy for him. It was not easy. So check out Curtis. His story is one that is remarkable, is one that I can definitely see. They're making movies about Bob Dylan. Haven't seen it yet, or we'll talk about it here or on at the show, but definitely an interesting piece, I shall say, is definitely the Curtis Mayfield story. And just on the even more amazing than interesting is his music. So check some of that out. You won't be disappointed. Um, you know, tonight we're gonna do something just a little bit different. So I hope you enjoy it. Back in 2000, Tattoo the Earth came to town. Came to a little golf dome right outside of Chicago. And boy, did it have a lineup, okay? It had Slayer, it had Cold Chamber, it had Sepultura, it had PE, Slipknot, Seven Dust, um, Full Devil Jacket. And when's the last time you've heard them? Mudvayne, Hatebreed, not all of the artists that you see if you're watching online made it to the Chicago show, but the overall vibe of this concert was just kind of unique because it was in this indoor golf dome and you were standing on almost it was artificial turf, And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Looking back at it, I think I was just very excited to be able to see Mudvayne kick off this show. That was incredible. Slayer, incredible. But again, this is a different time period. You think back to concerts today, and nothing like Tattoo the Earth is really going around. But this is the what's the word I'm looking for? This is a time period here. Okay. They wanted to catch the festival vibe during the time. Um, the thing about it is that it just sometimes coming to the Bridgeview World Golf Dome, just they could have came somewhere else outside. But the whole thing about this was there were going to be tattoo artists. It was like a traveling circus for it was like another Ozfest, like a with even more heavier bands, body artists, um, just trying to really enjoy this vibe. Unfortunately, it just didn't really materialize as much as it really shall have. On select shows, though, in Portland, Stone Temple Pilots played, Metallica played in New Jersey, Lamb of God in Massachusetts, and Michigan. That would have been cool to see an early Lamb of God. But again, Tattoo the Earth from 2000. So during these concert segments, we'll go back in the past to some we've been to, some ones we're currently going to, some that other people will be going to, some that are being broadcast. But stay tuned for the next one. But Tattoo the Earth. Let me know if you remember that, or even something you would have enjoyed to go to. All right, we got a new band today, new artist alert. All right, Blind Pilot. Okay, In the Shadow of the Holy Mountain. Okay, just came out in August, but I'm just coming into this currently album right now from ATO Records. Just a really, really good, interesting piece of music that I think you should definitely check out. They're labeled indie folk. There's some different stuff going on this album. Songs like Pocket Knife are definitely interesting. Coming Back is definitely interesting. Faces of Light is one that I'm starting to get into. I've only listened to the album and sat down once all the way through. I'm going to give it another spin. The really cool thing about this, though, as far as giving another spin on it, is that this album cover is definitely one of those we always talk about. And you may say, what do we always talk about? And it's that it's so cool, like the volume 4. It's like, who did this amazing artwork? And can we hire them to do some cool artwork for us? But again, this album is definitely very, very, very good in a way that I think you will enjoy. But we've got Israel Nepiker on guitar, Ryan Dabrowski on drums, Luke Yitzi on bass, and Katie Claiborne plays mountain dulcimer. Just really, really good stuff. Like I said, I can't speak more about it in because we got to keep moving on. But again, check out Blind Pilot, a new band, a new artist, and let us know what you think. Mudhoney. Why are we talking about Mudhoney? Because they're the artist of the week. So when's the first time you listened to Mudhoney? Okay. When's the first time you heard the name Mudhoney? It's one of those names that when you hear it, what are you getting into? But who are you getting into? It's a rock band from Seattle. Never as known as some of the Soundgardens and the Nirvanas, but definitely a band that I think is amazing in so many different ways. Mark Arm on vocals and rhythm guitar really, really, really brings a excellent vibe at what they're doing. And honestly, you don't really miss out on rocking out too much. guitars real rocking, drums really rocking. But again, Dan Peters on drums and Steve Turner on lead guitar have been with him since '88. Guy Madison's been on bass since 2001, but I don't know why though. It's crazy, but this album has stuck with me since it's come out. I mean, we're looking at almost, gonna be, almost 2 years since it's released, and it's still stuck in my head. Tracks like "Souvenir of My Trip," starting this album out, all the way down to "Little Dogs," is definitely something that I think listeners of really good music would definitely enjoy, and definitely wouldn't have a problem with just taking up some of their time listening to this. But back to their albums as a whole, Super Fuzz, Big Muff, which was the picture that was just on the screen. Now, if you're currently looking, this is a picture of the band, is their debut album. And like many debut albums, really cool, but it's kind of short. It's only got 6 songs on it. Chain That Door, In and Out of Grace. Some might not even call this a debut album because of the short tracks, but you go to '89's Mudhoney, the actual debut studio album, you get the 12 songs, 37 minutes, and you'll also get it on Sub Pop, which you may be saying, wasn't Nirvana on Sub Pop? They sure were on Sub Pop. So again, very interesting to see a band like Mudhoney and see them be able to quote unquote work their way into the Seattle system, because to be truthful and to be honest, that wasn't an easy place to all of a sudden just be a band and make their way out of it. They do cover Magnolia Caboose Babyfinger by Blue Cheer off of that debut album, which, can you say that really quick? Magnolia Caboose Baby shit really quick. Or Magnolia Caboose Babyfinger, which is, well, what the song is based off of. But again, very interesting band doing different things that are by every good boy deserves fudge. Guitarist Steve Turner says that it's his favorite Mudhoney album as a whole. So he's been with them since the beginning. Third album is his favorite album as a whole. But if you're going through their catalog, album by album, you're going to say, well, you know, you're going to get into some heavy stuff. Okay. Entertainment Weekly stated on Every Good Boy Deserves Fudge, imagine the heaviest of Black Sabbath heavy metal, only somewhat speeded up and with added touches of humor, and you have a good approximation of Mudhoney way of life. We started the show talking about Sabbath. So you're saying to yourself, and which a lot of those bands from Seattle had a little bit of that Sabbath in it. Chris Cornell could sing. This band, though, I mean, when you could get three of the four members still currently playing in a band together to this day, you gotta give some credit where credit's due and say, because to be truthfully honest, that isn't an easy task at all in any way, shape, or form. But the band as a whole, I mean, keep chugging along, keep trucking along, and that is their motto, which is a good motto to have. I mean, when you think back of all those Seattle bands, a band like Mudhoney has never what's the word I'm looking for? They've never ceased to exist. Okay, they've always played. They haven't taken a break, which a lot of these bands do take breaks, which is um very interesting to think about. But you're into good music, so like that's why we're here. So Mudhoney is a band that again floats a little bit under the radar, but we like to bring them a little bit more. I mean, Mark Arm and Steve Turner, who we mentioned earlier, met through an association of themselves, and they actually formed something firstly together in '78 called Mr. Epp and the Calculations. I don't know why that didn't stick, but when you're in a band together now since 78, we're backing it up more. And then they were in a band called Green River. You ever drink Green River? Very, 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 could be a possibly good drink if you like good drinks. But again, a hardworking band. You start getting through some of their middle albums, and their middle albums definitely stick with just as much as the good stuff. Under a Billion Suns, their seventh album from 2006. I like the lettering on this album. It's really, really cool. And again, when you got 11, 12, 13, 14, any band that's got that many albums, you're saying to yourself, you got to have the material to fill them. That is very important, and Mudhoney does fill them. Check out Under a Billion Suns. If you want to get even a little deeper into later catalog, Vanishing Point from 2013, Digital Garbage is not that bad. And by not that bad, I mean really good. 1995, great album cover in Buy Me a Cow. My Brother the Cow. I don't know why I said Buy Me a Cow. I would like a cow, but My Brother the Cow I don't have a brother, but if I did, I would say My Brother the Cow. But again, check out Mudhoney. Really, really, really awesome band. Also, please check out this next band we're about to talk about, because tonight on our album of the week, we got a little band you may or may not have heard of. I'm pretty sure you have, and that is Goldfinger. Goldfinger is an awesome band, and this debut album is an awesome album by them. And we wanted to add a little ska on this tonight, and Goldfinger's got some ska to them. They got a little bit of punk, which is awesome. But this debut album from 96, I remember when this was released, really good tracks on this. Here in Your Bedroom and Mabel is really, really songs that were played on the radio on Q101 in Chicago a lot. If you listen to a lot of radio around here, maybe, you heard them on the stations that you listen to. Excellent example of a band in the 90s just having a really, 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 really good time. And their music videos, like the one you saw right there, being a young in that time period of when it was released, definitely did not have any problems with turning that one up out loud Here in Your Bedroom. So if you haven't listened to that, please do. But going into the album more, which is 37 minutes and 15 seconds, tracks like Anxiety, Nothing to Prove, Pictures, Phone Call, unlisted on the album is 16, F You and Your Cat. I don't really want to say, I don't want to say that. But again, the album sometimes is described as an energy of a lot of different stuff that lead singer John Feldman was listening to. He was listening to Rancid. He was listening to The Exploited, which are a really, really great Scottish punk band. Really good album called Beat the Bastards. I will say that because that is the name of the album. But, an all-around good affair by Goldfinger, as a debut. Haven't listened to much more after Hang Ups, their second album. Maybe I should take some time and dig into some of that. Produced, though, by John Rifkin, who you may be familiar with. Him doing film scores of Driving Miss Daisy, Rain Man, and The Lion King. Talk about an interesting producer to get for your overall the production. But again, just really, 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 really cool. Just like our next segment here, which I'm really, really excited to share with you because we're at the Song of the Week. Song of the Week. Boy, this song, I just keep playing. Rev It Up by Jerry Harrison. Guitar is just really on fire on that song. And you might be telling yourself, who is Jerry Harrison? Jerry Harrison is the guitar player of the Talking Heads. Yes, that Jerry Harrison. He is on fire on this track, Rev It Up. Rev it up, rev it up, rev it up. Especially if you're like going out somewhere, you're like getting ready, or personally, sometimes if I'm working out, it is a really good one. It is again from 1988. Okay, Jerry Harrison, Casual Gods is what this project was called. Um, it was actually created between recording sessions with the Talking Heads in his hometown of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because he had to return there to support his mother. He met some studio musicians and they went to recorded it. Alex Weir does the guitars, who you may be familiar with if you've seen Stop Making Sense. Bernie Worrell does the keyboards, but the song is just a fire track. Um, it went all the way up to number 7 on the US Billboard charts. But again, just a really excellent piece of music. And one that currently the hookup on music, aka myself, Tony B, just is not able to get enough of because it just sounds really just that good. So please put Rev It Up on your playlist because you will not be disappointed by it. I promise if you don't put it on there,
I'm not mad.
I will not be mad. I promise. I will not be mad. But let's keep it up and wrap it up here for our last little segment we got going here. What songs stick in your head all the time? What's a track that you have out there that, well, it's never out of your head because you like it just so much, Not a song that's stuck in your head because it's annoying, but a song you have stuck in your head because it's just that darn cool. For me, some of my picks, Benny and the Jets by Elton John. I could listen to that song super loud every single day for the rest of my life, and it probably will not get old to me. Maybe it will, because I've never done that, but the days I have listened to it, or if it's ever on the radio, it seems to be one that I turn up pretty loud. Go back and look at those music and those songs we picked for October. Stephen King's Pet Cemetery is played more this Christmas time for myself than an actual Christmas song. Go figure. You want to know why? Because it's a catchy jam. The Ramones never needed to shy away from doing just good old fashioned catchy jams. And they delivered on the Pet Cemetery title track because it's just really, really that good. But a lot of the songs that are on that playlist that we did are really, really, really good. Just always curious to what songs stuck in your head, or in the annoying fashion, what maybe annoying songs stick in your head, because they do range, and I do understand the many, many, many different kinds of annoyances. But when you get a good track that just sticks and it does not go away, you cannot not just be enthralled with the happiness that you receive, because music is why we are here. Just like tonight, we started off talking some Volume 4 by Black Sabbath, some Snowblind. We talked about just a lot of stuff tonight. We talked about Rev It Up by Jerry Harrison, got the song stuck in my head. A lot of good stuff. It's always awesome to share these things with you. You just never know, what you're going to find out there. That's why I love going to record stores, local record stores in other towns. I remember going recently down to Lake Geneva, and there was just a awesome record store. What are they playing inside? They're playing Look Sharp by Joe Jackson. Just a great album if you haven't checked that one out. But, folks, we thank you so much for joining us tonight. We are always here to talk music. If you are upset, you are bothered, you are having a bad day, the Hookup on Music is here for you to talk about music and just have a good time. If we haven't met yet, we're going to meet soon. That is our motto here. We thank you. Please, if you're watching this and you have not watched the At the Show episode that's coming up that I'm a part of, which will be about Shawshank Redemption, please do that, because we're going to be talking about the music on that. Got a great soundtrack. If you haven't checked out It's Getting Drafty in here, that was awesome this past Tuesday. Great wrestling topic. Wrestlers who have never been a world champion. Very excellent episode. Check out those articles on sadisticpenguinstudios.com. We really appreciate you joining us, and we will be talking to you soon because, well, that's what we do. We talk music together, and we do it every single week. So we will see you again next week when we continue to have a good time and continue to talk awesome music. So everyone out there, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see you soon for episode 102.
Thank you for listening. Please look out for the audio version wherever you jam.